Hi guys, I welcome you in 2022 from my parents' home in Poland. If you're new to this channel, I'm Karolina and I work with data. This video is going to be an overview of what happened in the data job market in 2021 and what it means for 2022. I did a similar video a year ago and many people requested that I do it again, so here I am. Just before we get started, a little announcement, channel announcement. This year, I'm going to focus on the data-related content mostly. So if this is why you're here, you're in for a treat. So onto the job market. I'm going to analyze 5 different data careers: data scientists, data engineers, data analysts, data architects, and machine learning engineers. The data I'll be quoting today comes from the itjobswatch.co.uk and it comes from the UK market. I'm going to look at 3 different periods: second half of 2019, second half of 2020, and second half of 2021. In this way, we'll hopefully get a comparable picture and we'll be able to spot some trends. First of all, let's have a look at the recorded number of job openings in the UK for each of those 5 data professionals. 3 important observations here. The first one is that data engineers are the kings of the market and there's the greatest demand for data engineering skills. Second observation, looking at data engineers, the number of job openings have actually doubled since 2019. So the demand increased by almost 100%. And thirdly, just contrast it with data scientists, for example, where the demand actually fell. Why is that? Perhaps because data science is just a tip of an iceberg. And there's this anecdotal saying that in a team, for every 1 data scientist, you need 3 data engineers. And the numbers really agree here. Okay, so now let's have a look at the median salaries across all the 5 data professionals. Okay, 2 points to make here. First of all, data architects earn the most, which sort of makes sense because they are more experienced and you don't start out as a data architect. But another curious observation here is the median salary for data engineers in the UK. You can see that, despite the clear demand for data engineering skills, the salaries don't seem to be catching up. In fact, they seem to have fallen since 2019. Why is that? It's because data engineering has been demystified a little bit since 2019. There are plenty of YouTube channels, articles about it, and people realize that, hey, there's a gap, let's learn the skills. And that's exactly what happened. Plenty of people learned the skills, entered the market, and put pressure on salaries. I guess what that really shows me is that the barrier to entry to data engineering is not so high. Because if the barrier to entry was high, then instead of salaries going down, they would be going up because the demand would be so hard to fill. Apparently, the demand isn't so hard to fill with newbies who've just learned Python and SQL. So this is exactly what's happening. The gap is being filled with people who are just entering the market, perhaps switching careers. They don't demand very high salaries because they're at the beginning, and that's why salaries go down. Actually, today on LinkedIn, I saw a chart that I think really agrees with this hypothesis. I have preached on my channel that all you need to enter data engineering is Python and SQL, and I guess I wasn't lying to you guys. Of course, there are extra skills that data engineers need as well, like version control, Git, or understanding of the databases, etc. But when it comes to programming languages alone, Python and SQL is absolutely enough. Now contrast it with data scientists, and you can see that the breadth of required skills is much wider. So really what I'm saying here is that perhaps data engineering is just a bit easier than data science. That's why salaries aren't exorbitant despite exorbitant demand for them. While it is important to discuss salaries, I'm personally a huge believer in following your natural talents in life. That's why I'm excited to show you a message from the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. For example, there are classes on photography, web development, business, but also productivity and how to grow as a person. If you watch my channel, then you know that I often find myself thinking about how to stay true to yourself. That's why I decided to go through a course by Emma Gannon called Finding Fulfillment Using Pivots to Power Your Creative Career. And one key takeaway from that course is this simple exercise. If you are unsure what path to follow, just ask yourself what lights you up. There are certain things that we are genuinely excited about, and our body shows it, and just perhaps it's worth listening to it. The first 1,000 subscribers to click a link below will get a free 1-month trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Coming back to data, looking at 2021, I'm going to make 3 predictions for 2022, and actually all of them are quite positive for us. First of all, it will be even easier to land a job in data engineering. Why? Because you can see that the dominating strategy that employers have at the moment is to hire newbies. Another thing is that 2022 is going to be employees' market. It will remain employees' market. It's already an employees' market. What that means is that employees have more power in negotiating terms, in choosing the right career, etc., because there are labor shortages in the market. This relates to all data-related jobs, but also majority of professional jobs in the market. How it feels to me is as if everyone has just read the 4-hour work week, but instead of jumping into entrepreneurship, everyone is suddenly buying coins and NFTs. I can really see it in my friends' circles, people that are typically, or who wear, the typical creative type, or family members who had very little to do with finance. Suddenly they all talk about coins. When I'm on the tube in London, on every single train, there must be at least one ad promoting an investing app. Every single train, different apps. And I'm just like, whoa, what's going on? This chart shows that, more generally, the appetite for equities is also rising, bolstered by inflation, and is near the levels of the tech bubble peak. So, what does it mean for us? Well, hopefully nothing, but potentially this can also burst. Fortunately, data skills are very defensive. So, as long as the world generates copious amounts of data, the data skills will be in demand, whether there's a crisis or not. However, I would say that if your current job doesn't require you to have specialized, perhaps technical skills, then it's the final call to upskill. Because people that don't have specialized skills, people who are easily replaceable, they will go first if something goes wrong in the economy. And while we have, the labor shortages I mentioned, and it's the employees market at the moment, we don't know when this is going to tilt. And when it tilts, it can tilt very quickly. Oh, this got really doomy now. And on this note, I wish you all the best in 2022. No, I'm joking. It's gonna be all right. Famous last words. Anyway, let me know your predictions and I'll see you soon.